Welcome back, car guys and car gals. Thank you so much for joining us on part 2 of this 5-liner with Josh Letsis. This brew has been brought to you by our friends at Think AdGroup, Dealership Toolkit, M1 Data and Analytics, Don Brady Consulting, 321 Ignition, and our friends at VinQ. Let's brew!
You've got to do it, right? So I can pour into my people. Ultimately, it's up to them, you know.
Right.
So, but I've got to first pour in. Now, if that doesn't get reciprocated back, my time's a finite resource. So I'm not going to start pouring all my time into, one salesperson who's, going to quit here in 2 months and he hates me and hates the car business. He only got the job because his dad sold cars, or, so when it's not reciprocated, I'm going to pour in somebody else because, it's finite, this time thing that we have.
You're right.
So,
and you recognize that.
Yeah, but I owe it to every one of them to try and pour into them. And then if it gets reciprocated, now all of a sudden it's a big tug of war, and it's just me and one guy, and then we add a gal, and then we add a couple more guys, a couple more gals, and we're just all pulling on the rope in the same direction as power. You're unstoppable at that point.
100%. That tug of war, you're going to be the champion of that tug of war 100% of the time when everybody is on that same timing, in that same count, and pulling at the same exact moment. It's some power behind that, some horsepower.
Yeah.
Speaking of horsepower, I mean, what you're saying is just like that old saying. You could bring, and horses. Yeah. You could bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't make them drink.
And it's true, actually. I've got horses. You can actually bring them to water, and sometimes they don't drink.
He's true. He does. One of my favorite posts you did with your horse was recently after the snow, and you could see your horse running up, and you could see the fresh footsteps. Beautiful picture, man. Your ranch is gorgeous, man. Congratulations on your ranch, too. Talking about rags to riches, man, look at what you've become, man. You've got yourself a dream ranch. People would die to have something like that, but you've earned that, and you've worked so hard towards that, and that is what this business can bring you. But that's also what hard work, determination, growth, constantly taking challenges and knocking them down, getting to goals and then setting new goals. Yep. You've done that, and you've done it really well. Because a lot of people could have been settled and happy with positions that you've had years ago. They would have been, that's it, I'm capped off, I'm good. Mm-hmm. But yet, it's not that you not that you have to have more, but you understand what your worth is, and you understand what you can give. And as you grow, it's time to keep growing. You can't stop or you're dying, right? So I love that, man.
Yeah, and my impact can be bigger. The further up I go. When I was a salesperson, you can only influence a couple people. As a sales manager, now I can influence 10 or 15 people. As a GSM, now you got 30 or 40 people you can influence. And then as a GM, all of a sudden you got 150 people you can influence. And, now I've got multiple stores, and that's really where I get a lot of my pleasure is, going, okay, look at this. Let's try and change people's lives. So now it's not just salespeople, but, it's a lot of tenant growing him. All of a sudden he's a lube tech, and now we're making him an apprentice, and, he's making 6 figures turning wrenches, and, because selling cars isn't for everybody either, but, showing people that, hey, you can change your life. You just need a little direction. And sometimes you need somebody there to push you. Sometimes you need somebody there to kind of put the blinders on and keep you on the right path. But yeah, that's a huge pleasure I get out of the car business.
Yeah, I believe we always need that.
We do, man.
We always need those people.
Everybody.
In our life. And it's in different phases of our life. Somebody's going to be critical. Somebody is going to be instrumental into getting you to that next level. And again, it's usually just because of the seeds that they carry and they get to deposit. Sure. And everybody inside of a farming culture has their duty, has their job. Somebody's going to make sure that irrigation happens. Somebody's going to make sure that we get the right seeds. Somebody's going to make sure that the harvest comes together. And when we have all these people, our posse, if you will, we have those that are helping to rise with us. And we're so thankful for that. So I want to real quick just highlight some of the people that have been in the room, because for this moment in time, they decided to jump in with us. Just want to say hi to Robert Jacko. What's going on? Welcome.
What's up, Robert?
Cafe. Our friend DJ. Man, DJ's got a big room going inside of the clubhouse, and I'm excited to jump in there sometime. Here's some of what they're brewing. Over here, another solutionary over here, Jake Bishop, talking about how awesome Freddie is too, because Freddie is the man, and he does.
I appreciate that, Jake, but this is all about Josh today.
Right. But we definitely want to be riding in the same stables, or not riding in the same stables, riding on the same ranches like my brother. We'll show that here in a little bit. But so thankful. We got Terry Tourline who's in the room. You see that. The room for brilliance is more or less what he's bringing to the cafe. But we are excited about it. But we want to tell you something. We've been working, and we have outfits that we can come to your location of the world with. And we're ready for the whole ranching thing. You know what I mean? Right. We're ready.
Check it out. When you see
this, pumped up about it. They're going to be so happy that we put this out there. Bam! What you know about that?
Look at you, fit right in.
You know it.
I love it.
Oh man!
All right, I'm ready to ride. Hey, I do ride. I actually have a really great friend out here. Kentucky's a big, horse state. You know that, right? And I love it. I have 6 acres. My wife will not let me get any horses.
I'm getting a horse.
I even have a friend who's would give me a horse. She won't do it. She's like, it's too much work. I don't want to be the one feeding him all the time. I'm like, I hear you. So, but my buddy, he has a ranch out in Owensboro, Kentucky. He has about 7. He breeds them, and beautiful ranch out there. We get to ride a lot and just go out and have a good time. And it's the best, man. I love it. And you have a great lifestyle. I envy that, man. I want to move to Colorado, have a big old horse ranch myself, and look at them mountains every single day, man. It's beautiful. I lived there for 5 years as a child. I loved it. My wife, that's where she kind of became a young adult before I met her. That's where she lived. And so, we go out there as much as we can, and I absolutely love that. I love that state. It's just gorgeous, man. It really is.
There's so much to do, especially if you like being outside. I mean, you've got the mountains. The only thing we don't have is a whole lot of water. There's not a whole lot of lakes. But you've got the mountains and hiking, and it's a 30-minute drive, and all of a sudden you're somewhere, and a 10-minute hike in, and you would think you're just in the middle of nowhere. And it's just for active people, it's amazing.
It's the best, and that's why I love that state so much. That's exactly right up my alley.
Yes, we're pumped up to get some traveling going. I'm telling you, I'm getting a horse, and it's going to make my kids mad because they wanted one. But this car guy working a car dealership lifestyle, you don't have time to go out there, brush the horse, take care of the horse. So just like what Priscilla was saying, no, I don't want to be the one feeding it. It's like, I want more dogs. And she's like, yeah, you're going to be the one that trains it, right? You're going to be here to do that. So you got to keep it real sometimes. But ultimately, I'm going to have a horse one day, and maybe we'll get the chance to come out there and let you show us a thing or two about taking care of it. But we are very, very thankful that we're getting underneath the surface of what it is that makes this incredible car guy an incredible car guy. Just like Think Tank or Think Ad Group gets under the surface of what's sitting inside of your dealership so that they can bring business to the surface.
Fancy.
Just so you know. So, car guys, we got another question inside of here because we got a cowboy that is doing some big things, rounding things up inside of the automotive industry. And sometimes you get bumps, sometimes you get bruises, sometimes you get, knocked off your horse. So I would like to know, what is it, Josh, that has been one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn inside of your career inside of the auto industry?
Probably the hardest lesson is not everybody wants it, whatever it is, as bad as I do. And that's tough. When you're a salesperson, it's all you. You're an individual. You're all gas, no brakes, and just going hard and cool. And then when you're a sales manager, sometimes the guy or the gal sitting next to you, they don't want it as bad as you. Sometimes a couple of people in your sales staff don't want it as bad as you do. And you start moving through, and I know how, I know how bad I want it and how hard I'm willing to work. And that was probably one of the hardest things for me to realize is not everybody has the same goals I do. Not everybody wants the same things I do. And not everybody's willing to work as hard as I am.
I know that feeling.
Yes.
I know exactly what you mean. That was probably the hardest thing for me to overcome too. Cause I was why aren't we doing this? What's going on? And then like looking at my salespeople when I first became a leader, and I expect them to do the things that I could do, right? I'm like, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you asking those questions? Why aren't you doing, even though I'm telling them to do these things, you're like, why don't you just naturally do it? Just do it. Yeah. But some people are they're not built like us. Not everybody's the same. That's why this world is wonderful though. I mean, that's what I have to realize. I don't want everybody to be like me. Because if they were,
gosh, no,
there's not enough room. There's not enough room for that. Right. But at the same time, that is something we have to overcome and learn, especially as we become a leader, as we start to teach.
Yeah, you got to figure out what their individual strengths, and I try to call them weaknesses. I call them blind spots, but you got to figure out what those are, because what one of their strengths are, it may be one of my weaknesses, or one of my blind spots. So there may be an opportunity for us to complement each other.
That's right. I believe that inside of a complementing culture, it's not the saying nice things to people. Right? It's the completely different spelling of the word. It's the completing, right? It's the assembly of all of the elements that it takes to make this entire mission be successful. And I can't tell you how many people that I've looked at and honored while I'm coming up in the business and I'm trying to figure out how to do great things and make a name for myself. And I might be losing on one end, or I might have, had an argument at home, or I might be not able to get together on other things in the community. But I see somebody else that may not be having the success that I'm considering successful, and they have a fruitful, beautiful marriage. They have a great relationship with their children. They have all of those things. And then it makes you put things into perspective. And when you honor that, you give way for that to give way into your life. You give way for that blessing to come to you. If you honor what's on somebody else's life, that opens the door for you to have it inside of your own. And that's something that we want to make sure that we are raising up as a culture of honor. That's why it's important that we ask who are your mentors. It's important that we ask what's your why, because your why is different than mine. And in the lessons that we learn together, we can all glean from. Because again, if there's a mistake that you made and I can hear your voice on it, I can hear what you said you learned through that hard mistake. I can go back and say, well, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that because my friend Josh said that this is what he did. This is what he learned. So let me just go ahead and learn that now. Let me go ahead and get that part out of the way and make my own mistakes, just like we want our kids to do. And it's so encouraging just anytime we get the chance to have somebody inside of the cafe that's speaking what you're speaking, that's saying what you're saying, because we know that heartbeat is beating out there and everywhere. But we have to always make sure that we're honoring the people around us, that we give them 100% of what it is that they're supposed to get from us. And we do what it takes to pull from them all that it is that they have for them. And everything is different. And that's what mixes it up great. Like you see all the beans all throughout the screen, everybody. Every single one of those beans, each of those came from an individual cherry that has been turned into that coffee bean that then gets ground together, and you can't tell one from the other. And then the heat of life gets applied to it, filters through whatever the filters are of life that we've gone through, whatever lens we see things, whatever experience that we go through, and then boom, you got you a good cup of Car Guy coffee. And that makes you become the person that you are. But everybody does something different with their brew. Everybody responds differently to caffeine in their body, to a great message. Everybody's different. But it's good that we pull that all together and we find a way to make our appearance better, because what's actually underneath and what's actually coating us is making us all better, because we are better together. Let me pull that comment off real quick. And
before you do though, I got to put this one comment up. I know where you're going with it, but I got to show this one from your wife. We're not getting a horse, Lou.
Lou, my wife told me the same thing, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Persistence overcomes resistance.
I'm working on it. Like I said, Josh loves a challenge. So do we. So we're going to make it happen, Tiff.
That's right. Yes,
we're getting horses. I'm going to have a horse at my house too. Watch. It's going to happen. Josh, I'm learning something today. Josh said wife said the same thing. So that means I have opportunity. I still can get a horse.
There's a chance.
I'm going to do it.
That's right. Could you imagine what our appearances would be like if we showed up on a horse? Man, it'd almost be as crisp and clean as an Exogloss shine.
So Exogloss folks, great people. Make sure you reach out to them. Terry Torline is crushing it. He's actually on here right now. He's a huge fan of yours, Josh. He's been following you on LinkedIn. He put a little comment out there. He's been following you on LinkedIn for a while now. Would love to compare notes one day. Great guy, great car guy. Just all about growing. He's all about helping. So very good heart. He's one of those people who builds relationships before he builds revenue, right? Mm-hmm. And I love that about him. So great job, man. So we're going to get to question number 5, the last question of the night of the morning. Why am I saying night?
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning to you. So this morning, my 5th question is going to be, and it's a good question. Out of all the stuff that you've been through, what has been your greatest reward? Now, you kind of answered it earlier, but what has been your greatest reward?
Yeah, so I talked about this last night actually to this college class I spoke to, and when I was younger, it was all about money. And it was just cool to be able to buy things and, that I never had a chance to get, clothes and a car and things like that I never dreamed possible when I was younger. So that was at first my motivating factor. And then when my career really started to take off was when I realized that I wasn't doing it for money anymore, and I was doing it to help people. And now those people were my customers when I was a salesperson or sales manager. And then it started to also shift to my employees and my staff. And that's when my career really took off. And now the byproduct of that was I was making more money than I had ever made. But I truly get my fulfillment from taking, some kid who grew up in a trailer and all of a sudden showing him that he can make six figures and changing their lives. That changes people's lives. And, taking a kid and promoting him and putting him into finance for the first time, or, taking, a service writer and promoting them to service manager. And those experiences, truly feed my soul. So that's where I get my pleasure. That's where I get my drive. And the byproduct of that has been my success, as people around me have been more successful. The byproduct of that has been I'm making more money because they're making more money, but I don't focus on that anymore. And I haven't for a really long time, because I know that if I pour into my people and I make them more successful, that I'll, the byproduct of that is my success, and, my paychecks are more too.
I love that. And
yeah.
You are such a solutionary. I mean, the thing about that and having that kind of reward in your heart lets me know what kind of person you are. A lot of people they say a million different things, but that would be my answer too. It's what I've been able to do, like just being able to pour into other people and see them become that fruit, planting seeds in them, that fruit and that harvest of their own. And then, like you said, the byproduct will make money from it. Yes.
Yeah.
But when you focus on the money, it tends to not grow as fast. When you focus on the people and you do everything you can to make the best versions of themselves, which makes you the best version of yourself, guess what happens? The money will come. You won't even notice it. You'll be like, man, how the hell am I making all this money? I don't even know. I'm just working hard and these guys are all doing what they're supposed to. I'm just having fun. I'm so enlightened right now. My people love me. I love my people. We're a big team. We're a family. We're a family. And they know that they can trust me. They know that I'm there for them. And they know that, and I know they're there for me. And I know that we all are going to work together.
And it's sustained over a longer period of time. I've seen people go into stores and, treat people really poorly, but the store is successful. But it's not sustainable. Your turnover goes up. I mean, all sorts of bad things happen. Whereas sometimes, my growth might be slower to get there, but from a foundational standpoint, I'm much more solid. So it might take a little longer to build that team. It might take a little longer, to build that level of respect and that sort of thing. But once we get there, whatever, there really is no finish line. But, once you get to that point where your foundation's strong, your team is strong, I'm bought in, they're bought in, then you watch your turnover go down, you watch your CSI scores go up, you watch your PDRs go up. I mean, you see everything start to grow. It's a little slower pace, but it's a marathon, versus just going in there and cracking the horses and going, okay, look at now we got where, we wanted to go, but then people start blowing out and your CSI starts to suffer and that sort of thing.
That's so, again, like training a horse, there's so many correlations I want to connect here with it.
No doubt.
So with what you're saying, and again, I know this is a concept that some people, not solutionaries, usually not people that are watching our show, but growing people is a process, and it's a valuable one. You're about to go through growing a human. We are the slowest growing being inside of the animal kingdom, right? We are the slowest growers. Could you imagine popping out and all of a sudden a kid just getting up and walking like a horse tries to get up and figure out how to walk?
That's crazy.
First day out. You know what I mean? We don't get to that level. It's a process. It takes time. It takes serious, close nurturing. It takes intent. And when you're growing a business by growing your people, the curve might take a little longer, but it's going up. As your people grow, you grow. As you develop them, they then in turn switch back around and develop you. You start to see there's that fruit from the seed that I planted 6 months ago. Fact. There it is. You believe it now. And one of my greatest rewards is just when I have my salespeople come to me and say, Lou, can you put me down for vacation during this week? We're going to go here. And they tell us about an experience that they would never have the money for, that their wives would never have even thought of before, but now their wife is all pumped up and saying, hey, we're going to go here. Make sure that you tell your boss because we're going to go. And I'm so excited about it. And they get to go have these experiences and come back and say, look, I went here, or look, I ate here.
I've never left the state before. This is crazy.
Tyler Ramsey, shout out to you. Tyler Ramsey was working a job just like my youngest son was, right? Being a groundskeeper at a sports complex, right? A groundskeeper. He's just doing what he's doing in love and life. But he took a shot coming in the car business, interviewing, didn't know what he was doing, but he had enthusiasm. I knew that I can trust the kid, right? All we had to do was let him just dress or adjust his dress and adjust his presence a little bit. But now he's built an entire character. We call him Country T, and he puts out his stuff. He has logos for the dealership all over. I mean, on his stuff, but he's wearing like real tree camouflage. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's going with this whole Country T theme. You know, come buy your truck from Country T, right? Anyway, but he's not tasted the good of this business or being able to have some resource in your hand. He didn't. I remember the first time he tasted like a jerk chicken, right? He was like, oh my gosh, what is like, because he's so used to what he knows. And then when you get the chance like you're doing to introduce people to a different side of life, to say, hey, there's something else inside of you, just like a seed was given to you. Here's a note, man. I believe in you. Man, I believe you can do this. And then for people to look back at you and say, I was a part of that. Wow. Yeah. Great.
No doubt. You know? And Josh can tell the story. People can hear Josh did not come from he's not a Papa own a dealership guy. He's not the guy that had to go, he had to build it all up himself. He had to build his courage. He had mentors along the way. He had people who showed him the light, people who wrote him a handwritten letter, people who he made mistakes. He fixed it. He went through his 3-month slump because he thought he knew everything, right? We all go through that, but he can tell those stories and say, hey, I've been there, bro.
Yes.
I've been there, man. I know what it's like. All you have to do is push through it and just get encouraged, and I love that. And I love that you're doing that. And that's what your greatest reward is.
Yes.
Because that reward is going to keep going on and on and on. And those people that you've touched, that's going to be their greatest reward one day. They're going to be sitting in positions like you have, somebody that saw the light and got pushed and say, hey, look, I want more. And I want to take down every challenge that comes my way too. My mentor, Josh, he was killing it. He was doing this. And I know that I could do it because I see him doing it. That's what it's about. And then once you're going to leave this business better than you started it, right? And that's the idea behind it. And you're doing that, and you're doing it with class, you're doing it with fun, you're doing it with everything, man. Your posts, your everything that you're doing, man. It's for the business, but yes, it's for your family, it's for all that. But you put such an intention towards the business, towards this amazing business that changed your life, that gave you the horse ranch, that gave you dealerships, that gave you a lifestyle that you could provide your wife and your son and your future child beyond that you ever had as a young person.
Mm-hmm.
When you can do all those things and you could pass that down to someone else and give them that opportunity and show them, hey, you can come from poverty, you can come from nothing, and you can have all this. You don't even have to go to college. You don't have to have a freaking high school diploma. You just have to have a want. You got to be able to read. I mean, you want to go to read and write.
Maybe, right?
Yeah. At least write. We can probably overcome that. In exact miles, right?
Overcome that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can overcome that, But the thing is that it's important to have that and have people like you in their lives. You're a great leader. You're a great father. You're a great husband. You're a great person, man. You're a great social media inspiration too. When people see you on there, they see what you're doing, and I think that it encourages them. So I know it encourages me. That's how I found you. That's why I have you on the show, and that's why I'm excited that you're here, because of all the stuff that you do on social media and I see and I love. And you put out a good vibe, a great vibe. And trust and believe your greatest reward is beyond the people that you talk to. There's people watching like me and the Terry. You got like Terry Torline on here talking about he's been following you. A lot of people like us are watching you, and we're getting encouraged, and we are part of that legacy too. So keep growing, my friend.
Absolutely.
I love what you're doing, bro.
No, thank you, guys.
Terry, the rain on our clubhouse meetings, the reins, and man, I'm just keeping it all horsey. But, we passed him the reins on that because of how excited we were to have you in here. We've never really cut our clubhouse meeting, sometimes people were sitting there in the background just waiting for us to get that finished up. We were so excited to have this meeting. We know that you're so busy. We are so grateful that you took your time to be with us. I got an idea over here. How many horses do you have, just out of curiosity?
3.
Beautiful. Well, that is perfect for the video that I want to shoot, and where solutionaries are rising, right? And man, one day we got to go out there. We need to film a quick video.
You're welcome anytime you want.
Oh, we will be there. You just messed up, Josh. We will be out there. But yes.
But this has been so much fun. Josh, you dropped so much great information so far. We want to just make sure that people know how to get a hold of you and know how to get a little bit more of what it is that you're brewing inside of their cup. How do people get a hold of you, Josh?
Yeah, so Josh Letsis on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's probably the best way. And then if you want to follow the dealership, it's Medved Autoplex, and we do a ton of social content on there. So feel free to watch and plagiarize as you seek if you think it'll help your store out.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These are all things for us to share. Man, car guys, car gals, sharing is caring. There's tools that so many people are using to be successful. And guess what? In most case scenarios, they didn't make them up, right? The Lord says there's nothing new under the sun. We're just learning how to cultivate what it is that we have. It's a cycle of things. What has been passed down to us, we have the opportunity to be faithful with it. And just like Josh at the beginning was explaining that there was a note that a mentor wrote to him that helped turn things around for him. Folks, you don't know what post is going to impact somebody. You don't know what message is going to actually impact somebody. So stay consistent. Stay out there. Make sure that you keep it heartfelt and you keep it real. And eventually, you're going to see some great, great fruit. And a lot of times, it's going to be on the face of other people. And you're just going to be able to sit back and be like, wow, that I had something to do with that? Well, fantastic. If you're looking for the reward, a lot of times you're just going to keep trying to chase it. But a lot of times if you sit back, you just sow the seeds and you wait for the growth to come, you're going to see some great things. And out of that, we've seen some great things. We put a lot of seeds out there in the industry, and today we get to reap a great reward, and that's having our friend Josh Letsis on the Car Guy Coffee podcast, Brewing Solutions with us.
Man.
Thank you for the honor, my friend.
No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It was my pleasure.
Oh, man, we appreciate you. We look forward to having more conversations. We look forward to watching you grow and see where you go with your stuff, man. 5 years from now, we're going to all sit here and be like, wow, we've come a long way because we're constantly growing. You encourage me, man. I'm going to keep growing just because of what you're doing too. Trust and believe. You have definitely planted a seed inside me to make me want to do more too. So, man, keep growing, folks. Folks, if you guys haven't reached out or seen any of Josh's stuff, go to Facebook, LinkedIn. He's everywhere. Look him up. His name is unique. You're going to pretty much, if you type his name in.
There's only one. Thank goodness. There's only one.
He will pop up immediately. I've never had a problem finding him when I type in his name. So
we're on TikTok now, too. We're doing a bunch of I just dipped my toe into TikTok. And I had a video last week hit 350,000 views. So I'm like, I'm hooked now. Now I got to figure this TikTok game out, and I'm hooked.
Oh, dude, way to go. That was a huge viewage right there, man. And just keep going. Now, I also love was it Chuck Cheatham?
Yeah, Chuck Cheatham.
I haven't seen Chuck Cheatham in a while, though. It's been a minute.
It's funny. Somebody said that the other day. So we've got a couple commercials brewing for Chuck. Nice. We're going to shoot some stuff. I have a cartoon version of Chuck coming out also. So Chuck's an interesting character. And if you go to our Medved Autoplex page, you'll see. And I think even on our YouTube channel, we have all the videos saved there. But Chuck Cheatham is the epitome of the guy you don't want to buy a car from or work for.
Or be trained by, or to learn anything from, right? Yeah, he is the opposite of what you want to get your legacy from.
Yes.
Right. But it's the stereotypical bad car guy. It's fully the way he dresses, the way he acts, the whole nine, man. And I love it.
I found that suit on Etsy, and it fit me like it was made for me. I mean, like I was the model for the suit. I got so lucky with that suit. So
it looks really cool, man.
I'll save everybody the details. You got to track it down to find it.
Well, car guys and car gals, you know what to do from this point forward. Make sure that you blow our friend Josh up.
Yes.
Make sure you check out all of his content. You show him some likes. Give him some love. But if you're seeing this, whether this is the replay or you're right here with us live, give my man Josh a coffee mug emoji saying thank you so much for Brewing Solutions with us.
Man, what a great morning.
To all of you all. Thank you so much for everybody that's been inside of the cafe. We got Terry. We got Jay. Jay, I didn't shout you out earlier, and you've been in here. Thank you so much for being a solutionary. Robert again. Terry. Let me see. Asking us to start over. Well, Terry, you're going to have to go back to the replay.
Yeah, dude. It's real simple.
Stephen Logston, thank you so much for being with us. All you solutionaries, car guys,
everybody.
And car gals, thank you for brewing this incredible cup of solutionary juice for everybody. My man Josh Letsis is making some big things happen. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we have been brewing solutions with Josh Letsis.
The
one and the only, the cowboy car guy. He is definitely one that is rising with solutionaries, and we're thankful for it. All of you that are trying to make something happen, reach out to him. I'm sure he has some seeds to drop inside. You need to water them, but ultimately you're responsible for what goes into your cup and what you do with it, folks.
That's right.
So thank you again for joining us. We love you all. God bless. Josh, thank you for being with us today. We're giving you a hand clap of thanks and appreciation. Anything you have to say to our viewers before you head out, brother?
No, just, make a plan and be intentional with it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Actually, real quick. So I've got 3 steps to success, and we'll leave you with that. It's really short. So the first step is figure out what you want, right? There's the first easy step. And then 1A we'll put there to make a plan on how to achieve it. So figure out what you want in life. And I've got different wants. I've got my fitness, my faith, my family, and business. But figure out what you want, make a plan. And then step 2, and this is where most people fall off, is you've got to execute on that plan. You got to do the work. And then, the 95% of the people that fall off, there's 5% left. Step 3 is you got to do it every day. And that's where almost everybody falls off. So make your plan, execute on the plan, and then do it every single day. It's not one of these you're going to go on a diet and, your New Year's resolution by February, you're off. If you really want it as bad as you say you want it, because it's your goal. It's not my goal. It's not anybody else's goal. It's your goal. You said you wanted it. If you want it as bad as you said that you wanted it, make a plan, execute on the plan, and do it every single day, and you'll get it.
I love those 3 steps. That is a triple shot right there. That is a triple shot of Car Guy Coffee that he just dropped there, folks. Understand, make a plan, do consistency with all that stuff is so key. Every single day you do it, whether you think it's not working, if you do it every day, it will. Keep growing, folks. Josh, that's what makes you elite, my friend. I love it, man. You're the best, bro. What a great morning. I'm so motivated. We're going to be getting to work ourselves. I'm sure you got to get to the dealership. We're going to be getting to the dealership. We're going to kill it today. I'm going to have a great day. Are you off today, Lou?
No.
You actually work today? My man.
No, I'm off actually this weekend because Gabe's company.
That's right. He's starting to get regionals and stuff for wrestling. Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah, we're having a great week, folks. We appreciate you for coming in, tuning in. Reach out to Josh. Reach out to one of us, any of us. We're all here to help you. We're all here to grow. We all want to leave our mark. We want to make sure that you are the best version of yourself, but it takes you. That's a common goal. Folks, we mentioned it. We can show you everything you want. We can teach you everything you want, but you have to apply that to your life. If you do not apply, it will not work.
Got to drink the water, horsies.
That's it.
That's right.
That's right.
But we're so thankful again for all of you that have been tuning in with us. You're going to get the chance to listen to more Solutionaries if you go to carguycoffee.com.
That's right.
Hear all of them. Soon you're going to hear Josh's, but we have so much that's still brewing and coming for you all. Make sure that you get you a cup of Car Guy Coffee for joining in today. Use code CGC10 to save you 10% off of a bag of caffeinated consistency. Again, we are just so thankful that we're blessed enough to have serious Solutionaries dropping triple shots and great cups of Car Guy Coffee inside of the cafe. It's so hard to end this. We were so excited to start it. I do not want to end this, but we got to keep things moving.
Life is life.
We got to do what we got to do. But again, we thank you for being so gracious, and always, always, always be considering what it is you have to do next, because one moment goes away and it's gone. And then another moment comes and then it's gone. So do the most that you can with it. Always be considering your next sale, your next interview, your next step forward, especially when you're doing challenges like our friend Josh. Focusing on that next level of the challenge sometimes could be daunting, but I'm telling you, folks, eventually it's going to be behind you and gone just like a puff of smoke.